there's a whole extra threat. Once you're off the ground, you've lost control of it, you know. The rams control you. And you get very close to where those spikes are. So there's a whole series of different threats that normally you just don't have in a fight.
Okay, pull him up now, Paul. Get off him. Pull him up, Paul.
Yeah! Pull him up, Paul!
And cut.
Right. Why don't we act?
Pigeons are a tribe of lost children. But these were no ordinary kids. Among them were gymnasts, actors, musicians, and dancers. All of them selected from 1,800 young hopefuls who auditioned for a role.
But certainly the children are the keystone of the film, because the film is about the future. It's about hope, and the hope lies in the children. This is what characters like Max in the film realise. The children are all that's left.
The most important part of this shot, and I'll tell you straight away, is not you. It's the timing from camera to Max, way over there. And it's got to take 15 seconds, finally. I'll be with the camera, so that when we shout, get ready, and rehearsal action, you're all just streaming down the hill, past there, looking up at the aerial, which is the 747. If you started from where you are now, at least a dozen of you would be tripping over each other before you got 3 paces. Do you understand what I mean? Yeah. The moment, I mean, if you three are like that, then you wouldn't get anywhere. Go back, give yourself some air. Go on, spread out. Spread right out. Now stay here, Helen, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's all right.
I've got to give you Luke.
I'll never forget the first time that Mel came to a workshop and all the children were there. Well, they were buzzing with excitement. And it was amazing because Mel is so remarkable with them. So within 10 minutes, he was just one of them. And they immediately accepted him as part of their tribe, as it were, at that moment. In fact, it became so much so that I advised Mel not to come back after a couple of times, because after all, he had to be a stranger to the children in the film. And I thought that they would become so familiar with him that you wouldn't get this thing, you know?
Now, when they sit down, all you do is this. Watch me. Watch me now. All you do is this. That's it, just that. When I give a signal, you all stand, bye-de-bye. And you do the same thing, Catherine. Bye-de-bye, bye-de-bye. Only a couple of times and you sit down. Now, the moment they sit down, you start the crash. Now, at the end of the... Thank you, James. And now, at the end of the crash, as you crash, I want everyone to go down their face. That's all.
Yes. And act.
Cut.
Tail slide.
Listen, boys, all you on the plane, you're having such a great time. You're all smiles. You're just smiling and grinning. Don't do anything like that. Just make a sound. Let's do it once again.
So as they ditch the homeland, say bye-bye to the high scrapers and what were left of the knowing they left behind. Some say the wind just stoppered. Others reckon it were a gang called Turbulence.
One, two, three, four. M-A-D-M-A-X-3 got the whole car shaken to the Mad Max beat. Down in the crack, out in the sand, we'll be praying to God that it won't be canned. It's a Mad Max. It's a Mad Max. It's a Mad George, Ogilvy and Miller, they make a great pair. Do you understand what I mean?
Exactly, George.
Can you see what I'm getting at?
Yes. Do you mind if I butt in? Sorry, correct me if I'm wrong, but...
It's a Mad Max. It's a Mad, our costumes are so great, we're told, but all we know is we get cold. Liz and a scissors cuts our hair, a bob cut here and a mohawk there. It's a Mad Max. It's a Mad Max. It's a Mad.
And I say we're going to stay here. And we're going to live a long time, and we're going to be thankful. Right?
Keep tracking.
We love you, Mel. Yes, we do. We love you, Mel. Be true. When you're not near us, we're blue. Mr. Gibson, we love you.
Been on the way for about 8 weeks when a group of 25 extraordinary men and women joined us on
So
location.
you'll be on your own, and the cue for movement...
These were stunt drivers, and it was their job to execute a series of major stunts involving a train, 6 motorbikes, 20 cars, and a weird little plane. Unfortunately, not everything went as planned.
The car will go up, and the weight of the engine and all will start nosing down. The further you go, the more nose down you get. When you hit your level, just do a nose and a header. And with the kicker to get the front of the car up, the flight pattern is like this, and then it starts its arc down.
He's doing 90. If you're doing 70 square, you're going to be running about dead parallel, which makes it very easy for Juno to judge whether he's going to miss you. Like, if he's coming here and you're back here like this, he knows exactly if he's going to miss you or not. The only time I wouldn't like you to try and get too close to the train is if you're doing different speeds, because then it's a bit hard to judge. Then I'd rather you were bought out early.
Good one, mate.
Good, mate. You did a frog.
Well, we hit this camera, but it kept rolling. All I saw was a car going like up. I thought it was a space shuttle for a minute.
We didn't use a car stunt mainly because it was so over the top. Rather, what we wanted it to do was to just clear over the rail line at a fairly low trajectory, and what happened was it just went far too over the top, which is pretty unusual for a Mad Max film because it's very hard to go over the top, but that one did.
The train is going to come along and run into the back of it, and it's going to explode. So what we've done, we spent 2 days on it. We've completely made another car, a double, and we've made every section separate, and it's all just tack welded, and it's all just sitting there. So it'll explode.
Now, does anyone want to look at anything or know anything, or have they got any questions about what might happen to anything on this?
If part of this, come on here. Do you want us to hit it? Run over it?
I'd hate to do it if you're staring at it. It's better if you try and avoid it and hit it by accident.
This is not for land. Come on, mothballs. It's just a large fireball, large orange fireball with a lot of black smoke. Very good looking thing.
Select the size on there, you put anything in.
Okay, just set.
That's doable. There's no way the train will stop for us. It's detonators or anything.
What?
We can't stop the train.
We can lift this off.
Do you want to give us a position there, where is it?
Gentlemen, sorry to say it's in the port. Sorry lads, I know you've all worked hard for it. Can we make it safe and we'll lift it off the track?
We don't get the first big preview.
Oh, do you want to do that?
It'd be too much for them to rebuild the car.
No, don't do it on the car, but you can do it out there.
Sure, you want to look at it?
Yeah, let's do it. Ready?
That's explosion, so be aware.
1, 2, 3. It's the only rail line up there in the centre of Australia, of course, so an enormous number of trains go on it. So we'd get ready for a shot often and waiting for the right light and waiting for the right conditions and the right circumstances, and suddenly we'd have to abort a shot because suddenly we heard the train was coming. And so I had to go all the way up the track, way back to the junction, turn around, come back, and in that time we had no time to shoot the stunt, so I had to go back and do it the next day.
The difficulty of shooting the stunts was nothing compared to what was in store. For instance, a monkey called Sally Ann, 400 pigs, and a team of camels led by a beast called Rodney.
No playing up. Right, Rodney? Right, Rodney? No playing up.
I never thought I'd ever hate a creature on this earth, but Rodney, I did get to hate Rodney. He was the largest camel, the lead camel, and very much a will of his own.
From that side, Malcolm. Right there. Right there. Okay, keep the dust going. Murray, don't stop.
Never again. I'll never work with camels again. Even if I'm offered the great camel trek of the world tomorrow, I will not do it.
at those poor bastards running with the bucket.
It seems that it was a film totally concerned with animals. We also had a monkey called Sally Ann. Sally Ann's really quite a nice monkey. It should be in a jungle because it's totally and absolutely untrained. This will probably cause offence to the person who trained it, but as far as I could see, it was never trained. Sally picked up fairly quickly the whole routine of filmmaking and would be quite well behaved before the first assistant director said turnover. As soon as the first said turnover, Sally refused to do what was required of her and found Sally's version of acting was to jump up and down on the spot. Endlessly jump up and down on the spot. It was just one of those matters of putting aside a monkey unit, and they had to stand there and film Sally until Sally finally, by good fortune, did something that would cut into the film. We got there, just.
Call it underworld. It's where Buttertown gets its energy.
What, oil, natural gas?
Pigs.
To my knowledge, this is one of the few films in recent cinematic history to attempt to use 400 pigs in a dramatic role. I wouldn't counsel anybody to have another shot at it. The City Council here in Sydney decided that the use of 400 pigs was against certain health ordinances. After having a Supreme Court injunction against us, we were in fact allowed to use the pigs, but under fairly stringent conditions concerning health requirements. So we ended up with a somewhat bizarre situation of all of the crew having to wear white plastic overalls and knee-high boots. It looked nothing so much as like the NASA program sending astronauts to the moon. We had 130 crew members wandering around looking like they were out of the right stuff. The crew had to wash themselves endlessly on leaving and entering the set. We had to disinfect everything. We had to put in special air extraction fans. And, of course, we had to look after the pigs.
I thought they were the cutest things, really like our little porky pigs. The ears, the lashes, and the tails all curled. They were almost like little people. They were wonderful. They were naughty, and I thought it added so much life.
Not this! No! Not this! Oh, wait! Peggy! Help! Help!
And cut.
How is it, Ed? See how I rotate.
Second action.
Enough! That's enough!
Want to use him or kill him?
And cut.
Wasn't on my mark. Sorry, George.
Guys, this please.
Pull him in, gently. Pull him right in.
Master, do what Iron Bar says.
I will. Yeah, I will.
when I found I got a chance to drive the cars, and all of a sudden it all came alive. And it was nothing. I mean, George thought that I couldn't drive it. And just a matter of course, you know, this is my car. The car isn't an easy car to drive, of course, you know. They made it automatic for me and made all the adjustments that I would need. There's a bit of play in the wheel. The car is heavy and quite a lot of play in the sand, you know. A few times the wheel was just sitting there spinning. I was like, ah!
I think people think that stunts are more, it's the spectacle of the stunts, and quite often that's not the case. You need a very good stunt, but it's the shots that lead up to it, the little pieces of the film that join together to give you the illusion of something happening that is probably more important.
Sort of one vehicle being followed by a plane approaching here, and you've got a fairly dramatic approach speed. So the actual moment of contact would be fairly limited, sort of crunch, 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 crunch here. Wouldn't it be better to get a few people wheeling out from the flanks and coming in with the plane, just to increase the scope of the action?
Sure. These guys are in real trouble. Yeah. They've got a guy attacking from behind. They've got these guys coming in here. They've got this guy coming in here. Max knocks him out the way, accelerates, this happens, you know, but just prior to that, he's got on.
He's hanging on. He's got this stunt that he does in the showgrounds where he rides a bike that's actually got a ladder on the bike, and he climbs up the ladder and rides the bike from the top of the ladder. I mean, maybe one of the marauders has got this ladder on his bike that he sort of erects and then climbs up the ladder. And
when he's not marauding, he works as a painter and decorator. The climax of it is the plane taking off over Max's vehicle, just as we do one climactic stunt.
It will hit the ramp, and this will almost like pole vault over this car.
Oh, I see.
And then it'll be quite a slow-looking thing, and it'll probably just tumble down over. It might roll forward.
So this one will go right over like that? And then that means Max's buggy will go right over the top?
Yeah. Down the bottom here. Long lens, preferably, to get all that heat.
Down there.
We'll get someone down there. That's 150mm lens. Yeah.
Any problems of any kind with any vehicles heading at each other, from now on for the next 4 days, everyone always goes to the left of the other vehicle. Okay?
See the plank on there, eh? Clamp it down.
If the two of you take off together and travel, I would have set him at 2,100 revs in third gear as what I feel is his optimum speed. Get the same with yours going this way, we'll drop a marker and that becomes your start point. And I'll give him the same timing run back that way. And in theory, that puts you both in the right place at the right time.
Can you move up? Can you go up?
No.
Okay.
A bit on the right though.
The less body movement you've got, the better.
Yeah.
He's a bad guy.
I wish we'd shot the rehearsal.
I would advise the least number of people here as possible, because that ramp that Chris is going to come on, once he starts tumbling, if he gets a bad flick, swing him right over there.
Yeah, I know. I won't have it down. All right?
Yeah, fine.
what have I done? I've got to go back to my dress shop and that's it. I'm never going to do it.
Okay, so we've got two of them. We've got to go to the lab now. You can take that home and always remember, George, that was the shot you lost. You'll never know what it was like. You'll never know what it was like.
That's life, mate.
Comes from George Miller. If George is wanting something, that is what you do. Some of the funniest lines I said, well, suppose I don't feel it that way. Then George says, well, then you just do it the way I want it. It was wonderful. I loved it.
Well, look at this. Ain't we a pair, Raggedy Man?
Goodbye, soldier.
No, it's too much. It's all too much.
That's not too much, George. Not really. Because after all, you're saying the gag is when I first met you, you're Raggedy Man. And now I'm giving him a form of respect.
Yeah.
Goodbye, soldier. George.
Hey, that's not bad. That's great. That'll make it play, doesn't it? Hey, can we get everybody here tonight?
Can everyone ease back here that's not involved, please? Right back to the truck.
So we can see what we've got in our
Fighting
shot.
light. Sun's going down.
We're racing light. We've got about 15 minutes.
Stand by all stations. I'm going to turn camera first, and then when we go for wind and smoke, I want it to happen immediately.
And stand by and action! And hit!
There's no point in doing 6 sound if we've got that wind machine going. I'd like the wind machine cut.
Okay.
What we'll do is we'll run the wind machines and then we'll cut them just as Tina comes forward. Okay? Yeah, okay. Ready, Tina?
Yeah.
And action.
Well, ain't we a pair? Raggedy Man. Goodbye, soldier.
Come back again, Mel. Just come back. Okay. I see them back there. Walk in much closer to the camera. Much closer to the camera. Okay. Just keep walking for a little bit. Keep walking. And cut.
Yes. I was wearing sunglasses, so I thought they really haven't got a chance in hell of getting it. Look at that dark. It just occurred to me that was...
Oh, yeah, right.
That's always how it's going to look, you see.
Let's go again.
With most of the movie completed, the planning now had nothing to do with building. The total concern was with destruction. All the months of painstaking work and all the care which had been lavished on the major sets would disappear in a few seconds. First the flash of an explosion, then the lick of a fireball.
What happens today, Mad Max has stolen a vehicle from downstairs which is causing the explosions up here. So everybody's running around in a bit of a panic and all the guards are gathering and Tina's telling everybody that she wants a little man back. During all this there's explosions going off, right? So the beginning of the shot will start at the top of the ridge here. We'll pan along here. Explosions going off and come down into this area here. We'll make sure everybody knows where all the bombs are before we shoot this. But we'll just give you a demo at the moment.
Just make sure you're in a spot where you can all see what's going to happen.
Watching. 1, 2, 3. There'll be a couple of minutes because we have to secure the overhead rigging.
Once you see that's going and then the pipes are breaking away, that's when you start to hit virtually all your effects. Dave knows he's got to go for it and stop immediately if there's a problem.
If I say stop, everything will stop.
First position. Everyone set. And action.
to me! Bartertown will live! Find the little man! Bring him back to me! Alive! We will rebuild!
Fire! 591 take one.
That's the story. Part of it, anyway, of how we made Mad Max. For all of us who worked on it, the actors, the children, the 140 members of the crew, it was also a very personal journey, one that took me halfway around the world and into the heat and dust of Central Australia. I feel I've done the greatest thing that I've ever done in my entire life. The memory of sitting on the set, just sitting there instead of in my caravan where it was air-conditioned and where it was free of flies and free of dust and dirt. I would sit right there in back of George just to see how it was done and just to feel all of what the movie world was like. It's an experience I'll never forget. And who knows? Maybe if we did it right, you won't either.
Looking for something we can rely on. There's got to be something better out there. Love and compassion. That day is coming.